ball situated, it doesn't look like it will actually pass into either of the bottom corner pockets. So if this is the case, then what Yannick's got to try and do is, when he leaves his last yellow, he's got to try and move the cue ball in behind the black so he can take it into one of the middle pockets.
Now he's going to play, yeah. He's got not an hard shot, but you just have to leave the white ball more than straight line in the middle pocket on the right.
Just needs the proper angle.
Yeah, and he's got it.
That looks ideal.
I believe that is a very important game, this one.
Well, there's no better way.
It's a really brilliant shot.
As you see Yannick play onto the 8, left center, to help your opponent remember a bad miss.
Unfortunately, I think he's going to play the black up, you know, up the red ball.
Great putt right over the center of the middle pocket. Beaufils is up. He's ready and he fancies it. 3-2 now in front of Lee Kendall. Are we going to see one of the tournament's big upsets?
Trailing Lee Kendall to break, trailing 3 frames to 2.
Behind for the first time in this match, and a little bit more elbow grease into that break off, and it
Yellow
worked.
ball potted.
Yellow into the top corner, so it's an open table, but you'll see a little bit more action here.
As Keith said before, as we see, the break was different. Lee put his body with his cue, and then was more clear, more strength, then he pocketed the ball.
Lee's aware that every break so far, they're coming out fantastic, but nothing's going in, so he's just put a little bit more into this one. Really wanted to make a ball on the break, and then as luck would have it, this time we've got a little cluster appeared. This is the first time we've got a real bad break. The little cluster of balls on the right hand side. But reds are probably the slight favourite, but what he's going to need to do is manufacture a shot now where he can cause a disturbance.
Red ball's in play.
Yes, that cluster on the right hand side, as we look, the two reds right together, will certainly have to be developed. We see the red again, and the one thing I've noticed, if they're to be successful, they never want to leave a situation like that too long. And right away, Lee Kendall went after the reds, and once again, a chink in the Kendall armor. But you'll see him take the cue ball over towards those two reds. That was his intention, to develop them, and it's cost him the pot.
Well, he's had a bit of a result there, Jim, in a way, because the yellow, the red has stuck right over the pocket, and of course the yellow just above it now doesn't pot. No, he tried to disturb the two reds on the right hand side. Well, he has disturbed them, but if you just look, they've actually kind of gone at an angle, and he still can't pot them. So Yannick's got a couple of choices here. Well, he tried a delicate little split into the middle pocket. As you can see, it stayed right on the lip, and how that ball has stayed out, we're not quite sure.
Well, as you suggested, a lot of work for Lee Kendall, trailing 3-2.
30 seconds.
He's got to try and stamp his authority on this match.
Well, he's kind of done half the battle there. What he tried to do was split the reds up, but he was hoping that one of them reds would stay in the way of the yellow. Because what Yannick can do, of course, is he can pot a yellow and then try and put the ball over the pocket, the bottom right-hand pocket. Lee's got two reds there and the black, so that would cause him a fair problem or two. There's no real out for Yannick here because of this yellow that's down near the bottom left-hand pocket. He's going to have to kind of look for some kind of a safety shot somewhere. Done that on purpose there. Played it with a little bit of weight. Meant to knock the red up to the top rail. It's always a good little idea if you have got a shot and you can cannon into your opponent's ball. If you're pretty sure where the cue ball's going to finish, it's always a nice idea to try and get one or two of the reds onto the cushions. And as I suggested there, covering the pocket. So I think he's turned the frame round pretty well there.
And also sending a message to Kendall that whatever style is going to be stamped on a frame here, he's up for the challenge. Tactical or aggressive, equal to the task.
Well, Lee's got to do something positive here, because what he's got to be careful of is this. If he doesn't play a positive shot now, Yannick's next chance, he will play the yellow onto the red over the bottom left-hand pocket. And that's a good shot there from Lee. Realised the danger and brought both of his bad reds into play.
Yes, he seems to have regained the momentum here and the initiative.
I think, Jim, that Yannick, he's confident. He's going to double the yellows.
30 seconds.
On the other yellows. And after he's got, if he can go for it and do it, then he's got a table. I believe he will take his time.
Oh. 2 visits.
Yes, the shot that you actually mentioned almost looked like it could have provided a win. This one might well provide a loss.
Yeah, I agree. I'm quite surprised because usually he's he's got a nice view of the table. He sees immediately there's a shot to do.
It's not quite as bad as it looks, actually. I know he's given 2 shots away, but we've got it's a little untidy right in the middle, though. He's got the 2 reds that are very close to each other. And of course he's got the red on the top rail, so there's a little bit of work to be done. And the black's quite badly positioned as well. When Yannick did play that shot, he just knocked the black over slightly, and it's made it very awkward for Lee. And he's not played the best shot in the world to start with there. I'll tell you, this is a lot trickier than what it looks at the moment. If he pots this red now over the pocket, which he's looking at, he's fully committed to the finish. Because at the moment that is protecting the yellows. And that's why Lee's decided not to play it.
That is really a brilliant shot at the belter, because he pockets a ball and he put the red in a place that he's got the position to go to take the other reds. And he still got his 2 shots.
Well, he definitely wants to maintain the 2 visits, take the 2 reds off, and use it to develop the 8 ball. Well, they were clapping, but that was almost disastrous. Another inch on that cue ball, you would have had a total eclipse.
Well, that's a terrible shot. He's really got hold of it. He needed to get behind the black, still carrying his 2 visits. But he's really got hold of this cue ball. Now look at that, straight along the rail. And I do believe he may be snookered on the black. And if he is, well, he's in a little bit of trouble, because this ain't easy to get out of, Jim.
Yes, that yellow takes away the natural 1 cushion escape, so he's got to play this with a bit of side.
But he must play it stronger as well.
Well, how did that work out? Couldn't have been better.
Second visit.
Second visit employed, and this 8. And we're all square. 6 frames in the books and nothing decided. 3 frames apiece between Yannick Beaufils and Lee Kendall.
3 frames all.
Yannick Beaufils to break off now, frame number 7. Open table for Lee Kendall. And yellow's almost certainly going to be the color of choice.
Yellow ball's in play.
I believe that Lee now is going to take care of every shot, because you know that when he missed, if he missed, Yannick will not. And then the last game, I think that Lee make himself fear.
Looking yellow nearest those 2 reds to the top of the table. Well, he's tried to bump it over the center pocket. And now that's put him in a bit of trouble.
There was just no point in doing that, really, because he could have just took that up there with so much safety, because if it had rattled in the pocket, there's 2 reds up there, and of course you would still be in control of the game. It'd be interesting to see what he does here, because he still has the option of taking it up the cushion. Or he can carry on potting the yellows, and he can come back round to the one just below the black and try and move it again. Just depends how he feels now.
Once again, the angle here, Keith, on the yellow bottom left, if he decides he can again try and drop on that awkward yellow. But he'd have to negotiate the path and avoid the yellow nearest the bottom cushion.
I think, considering the break, Jim, I think he's made real hard work of this finish, because he didn't really have a bad ball, and he really has struggled to do anything. And I'll tell you what, he's in big trouble now, because he's not on the, you think he wanted to be on that red, on the yellow on the cushion. He's snookered himself behind the red, which means he's got to take the other one. So I think Yannick may be in with another shout here, Eric.
Yeah, because Lee is going for this shot. But after he has to get a position for the last one. And after you have to find a position as well for the black. It's not easy, but he's keep himself right on good angle. But that is a tough shot. He can't afford to miss it.
Well, he's either going up the rail or he's trying to cross double, but I think he'll take it up the rail, because if he does rattle it in the pocket, as I said before, there's 2 reds there, and that's exactly what he's got. As you can see, there are 2 reds up there, and Yannick's got a bit of work to do here.
Red ball's in play.
Yeah, I agree. He's got lots of work, but he's got his time as well. And then we know that Lee leave his last yellow on the pocket, and then Yannick have to manage it and do everything to keep to have 2 shots first, and after to put the game for him.
Wasted little time. He's trying to pull out a foul from Lee Kendall and allow himself the 2 visits.
Total snooker.
I believe that Lee is not going for the shot anyway. He's going to try to make a safety shot, or to put one of Yannick ball in bad situation.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I was at the table, Eric, I think I'd be playing one of these reds up and put 3 reds around that yellow at the top, making it hard as possible for Yannick to do anything, and that's exactly what he's done.
2 visits.
And he's done well. Now Yannick have 2 choices. He can't take out reds now, or he can take only one off and set up his table and wait until the right fall.
Well, the secret here, of course, like Eric said, is not to be too impetuous, is to work, wait a little bit. But Yannick thinks, no, that's not for me. Let's get all the reds out in one shot. And what a great shot that was. We didn't think we'd do that, did we, Eric?
Second visit.
One shot clears all 3 reds. And how the complexion of that one just changed in a New York minute.
Lee's quite surprised. Look at him, he's quite surprised. Now Yannick have to go for it, I think, because he's got right hand and he's really playing good. Then he's quite lucky by the results. Then he has to carry on.
I don't think surprise is quite the word I had in mind there, looking at Lee's face. Anyway, the way the reds have come out, this is a very nice situation for Yannick, and the way he's been potting before, Jim, I'm sure he'll take this finish out now.
Well, there's tons of pressure out there. And as we all know, pressure can produce diamonds. Are we seeing one in the making?
Well, we're all looking here, but he's a little bit out of position after that first shot. He's still got 1 or 2 pots on, but it's all about keeping that cue ball under perfect control, and he hasn't done that with his first shot. And the important thing in this finish is to get the cue ball perfectly in control on each red, and it will be nice and easy. And that's what he needs to do from here.
That is a good shot, because you need to play as quick as possible. The ball on the cushion, because after it's quite easy balls to pocket. Here we can see all the French delegation with the president of UFAP, Luc Varva. As you said, Kiss, he's going for the clearance. And I think he's got it.
With one good opening shot, the foundation had been laid here. And this 8. And yet Beaufils is once again got his nose in front. He's the odd frame in front at 4-3 over the world #1 Lee Kendall.
Back to the Embassy World 8-Ball Pool Championships here on Sky Sports. We're in the quarterfinal stages, the last quarterfinals, and at the moment it's Yannick Beaufils of France ahead 5-3 of Lee Kendall. And I'm reliably informed by the French, ça c'est une surprise, which to you and me means it's an upset on our hands, and Quentin Hahn is enjoying it with me. We weren't expecting this, were we?
No, I definitely wasn't. I thought before the match Lee was a heavy favourite, and you know, he's missed a few easy shots, and Yannick has played brilliant.
And there are real flashes of brilliance. There's a few shots that you were saying even yourself you wouldn't try. Let's take a look at just one of them here. This is talk about a get out of jail.
Well, there's a lot of pressure out there, and it's hard to think clearly. And that shot just shows that Yannick is thinking very clearly. That was a great shot, and he won him the frame.
It's a tough atmosphere out there. Let's go back to it now with your commentary team once again of Keith Brewer, Eric Lacoste, and of course Jim White.
Break, leading 5 frames to 3.
And the man of the moment, Yannick Beaufils of France, all set to break off in frame number 9. He's 2 frames in front for the first time in this quarterfinal. Is a shock on the canvas. Well, Lee
Open
Kendall
table.
is bidding for an emphatic no. He's the world #1 as we see Beaufils again, and the style employed in the break-off. And Kendall's had a few minutes now to compose himself, gather his thoughts.
Yellow
And now he's got to start producing the form that got him to world #1.
In this shot, I saw that Lee wanted to put the red and liberate the top left yellow. And now he's put himself, it's not as good position as could have.
This is one of them breaks where the yellows have come out so clear favourite. And he's took on the long pot, very first shot. It wasn't a hard shot, but I think he's trying to instill a little bit of confidence into himself
30
here.
seconds.
It isn't the end of the world that he hasn't removed that red. It would have been a bit of a bonus. But the way the yellows are situated, this is one of them finishes where you would think, yes, Lee's going to take these out, no problem at all. But he has missed one or two so far, so has he got his head right? Well, this will be a clear indication now.
Well, for me, gentlemen, this might be the most important frame that Lee Kendall's going to play. After the break, 5-3. If he goes down and loses this one, goes 6-3 behind, it's going to be a very long road back.
Yeah, maybe, but everybody know Lee. And even 6-3 down, as Quinton Ann said last year, he was 7-3 down on 1-8-7, and it's never done before the ninth black in.
Yeah, we have different breeds of players,
30
and that's for
seconds.
sure. And certain players, when they're under pressure, when their frame's down, and they've got to come out and do a bit of talking, this is the guy that can, because he has been behind many times and has come back and played some great matches to win. And like you say, last year against Quinton, that's what he did. But here this is a little bit different, because he seems to be putting himself under a bit of pressure. There again, he's got a very easy out on the yellows. He's only managed to pot 3 of them before he's made a mistake. If he keeps on playing like this, all it does, it gives that little bit of confidence to Yannick when he's at the table, and that's what's happening, and that's why he's playing so well. And once you get into a rhythm, and you are playing well, then it just goes from frame to frame. And Lee just can't get into any sort of rhythm at the moment.
He was going for at least having the pocket, and he put himself in a good position now, because Lee Kendall still got a yellow at the table. Then he have to manage to take it out, but he will leave maybe the end to Yannick.
Well, I was just going to say, in playing that shot, he's just there, put a red onto the rail, and by doing that, what it does, it just gives Lee a chance to bring this yellow into play, and he's going to double it down the table here. Now, he hasn't got it into the pocket, but the thing is, he's got all the yellows near the pockets. That puts a lot of pressure on Yannick, so he has to do something here.
I was just going to say, Eric, you and I were talking just before this frame started how Yannick Beaufils didn't leave the auditorium. He stayed out there, staying very focused and still trying to keep himself in line for what he hopes is going to be a huge win.
I think that's the best way to carry on the game. He played really well the first session, and then he come back on the table, and he didn't want to speak with anybody. He just wanted to be relaxed, thinking about his game. He didn't want to leave it, you know. Keep on concentration.
Well, misses like this, and in fact, that was in the pocket. It jumped out, so it's 1-1 in terms of balls being spat back onto the surface of the table. We saw that happen to Kendall early in the match. You can never legislate for that.
But now, you know, after this shot, he leave Lee Kendall quite an easy table. Even if it's never easy. We got some 3 yellows only to push, and a black with the pocket open.
Well, he has to count himself a little unlucky, because really he played the shot to perfection, pushed the other red over to the middle pocket, and it's jumped out on him. A little bit unlucky, but like you say, unfortunately doing that, missing that shot, he's left Lee the 4 easy yellows, and that's why the shot that Lee played before was a good shot, because he did throw the gauntlet out to him.
Big frame for the left-handed Lee Kendall there, pointing to that 8-ball. Stay down. It's 5-4 to Yannick Beaufils. He's breaking off here now, frame 10. Good, solid contact.
Red ball potted.
Well, good break. 3/4 strength break. This time he's made a ball. Yes, we've got a red in the left centre pocket. Now, just taking away the reds and yellows have split here. The yellows have looked very, very nice indeed. He's just got one little problem. And it is only a little problem, but he has to try and develop this yellow that's clustered by the two reds.
30 seconds.
Taking on the long yellow first. Bit surprised at this. Very important he makes a yellow on the first shot here.
Yellow balls in play.
I'll tell you, that is a very important game now. Because he had a chance to come back on the table after the ball in and out. And I don't seem that Lee want to leave the table again. He wants to stay on it and come back in the game as quick as possible.
Well, you can pick yourself up off the floor now, Eric. A little disheartened by that fluke against his countryman, but regardless, Kendall maintains his turn at the table, albeit not with a few anxious moments.
I'll tell you what, Jim, he was a long way out with that shot on the yellow, and he can count himself very, very fortunate that he's fluked it in the middle.
And also he's get the position for bad yellows. Look at the red, really in trouble.
Red balls in play.
Well, Eric, I have to admire your loyalty. He said, we're in trouble.
Well, Yannick's back is against the wall a little bit in this frame, and a little tactical exchange going to go on here because there's no way he can even look at playing anything too positive. Got to defend, and he's got to defend well because these yellows are too well positioned. This is where we learn something.
Time out. Time running.
Well, if anything, he's played a containing shot, but he hasn't really done anything too drastic. Lee's main objective really is to bring the yellow out into play. The ones over the pocket aren't the problem, this one in the open is, so he's just going to bring this out into play. Now, whether he disturbs little... No, he's not disturbed anything. I thought he maybe just try and disturb the reds a little bit. Bit of breathing space for Yannick here, because obviously what he's got to try and do is keep these yellows covered for the time being and do the rest of the work on the other part of the table. He can come back to this later on.
I think this game is going to be very tactical. Nobody will let it going easily. Somebody's got a table, the other want it. But the advantage is still on the yellows.
Yes, there'll be no quick finishes to frame number 10. Lee Kendall in complete control in this one. And right now it's really his to win or lose. Good open pot, but I think he was trying to get the cue ball back into the cluster of reds and yellows. It looks like the yellow nearest the left-hand cushion, top left, might be available with the small white.
Foul, 2 visits.
Intentional foul, and Eric, you're looking a little quizzical.
Yeah, because in this game I see 4 reds in trouble and 4 yellow in good position. When I say 4 reds, it's 5 reds.
And that bothers you somewhat, Eric.
Yeah, because with 2 shots,
Second visit.
he can't go for anything. Then he has to work on safety, on defense, on tactical game.
No.
Well, the yellow's definitely available this time. Given that his other 2 yellows are over the pockets, he can afford to take a chance now, because when he plays the yellow into the top left-hand pocket, he can play with a little bit of weight, and he's going to spring everything else out. Doesn't have to do this, but I think given the situation, I think he can play it with safety in mind somewhat.
He's got the protection of the bottom left pocket with the yellow in.
There you can see, forcing the yellow, bringing the other yellow into play. But he almost has to be lucky to leave it on, surrounded by that grouping of 4 reds. He does still have the insurance policy down bottom left with the yellow covering the pocket. Well, that couldn't have worked out a lot better. A great shot from Lee Kendall. And the opening forged.
It's the second time he was near to snook himself.
Well, he may have to play this off the side cushion, and that means the white's going to cannon into the red. And remember, he left himself under that cushion in an attempted 8-ball miss earlier in this match. So he doesn't want to leave it there again. Well, he's not far off. Now, I wonder, this is very similar. I wonder if Lee Kendall is replaying that missed 8-ball in his mind. Whether he did or didn't, it's a totally different result. The 8 down, great pot, and Lee Kendall and Yannick Beaufils now deadlocked at 5 frames apiece. Beaufils has seen his lead dissipate. Now he has to pull himself together again. And at 20 years of age, experience not on his side. But 2 reds in off the break. But again, a little bit more power than he's exercised in past break-offs.
They've come out quite well.
Yellow ball's nominated.
No matter what suit he takes, he just has 1 or 2 problems to encounter.
Yellow ball's in play.
There's the first one. He's taken the yellows, brought this yellow into play. Now his only problem now are going to be these 2 yellows that are clustered together. Now, are they a plant? Or can he make them into a plant? They definitely pass into the bottom right-hand pocket, but would require obviously very good positional play. But these are what he needs to deal with now. Let's see what Eric thinks.
I believe that they are going here with, you know, if you correct the angle, they can go in, and then he's got a chance to clear it again.
This a tailor-made response from what Lee Kendall's just thrown back at him. If he can break and finish here, just what the doctor ordered.
Well, this is a big frame, because with Lee pulling back to 5-all, you know, it's easy for you to kind of be sat in your chair thinking, oh no, what's happening? And look at this real response, a great break. And if he can just take this out here, it's just sending a message back to Lee.
And I think that Lee understands it and tries to put himself in the game, keep on going, because he comes to 5 each, and that is a brilliant answer from Yannick. But it's never done. And you have to find a good position for the black. That's a belter. Perfect position.
Beaufils. He's here for the long haul. 6-5 in front of the world #1 and the tournament's #2 seed, Lee Kendall.
Well, we do have a real Green Bay's Battle of Agincourt out there at the moment. Yannick Beaufils is showing just what kind of ability he's got under pressure. It's very interesting. Lee Kendall came back straight after the break, won 2 frames, and the real testing at 5-all was to see how Yannick would come out, but he came out brilliantly, didn't he?
He did. He didn't do anything wrong to lose those 2 frames. He held himself together and won that one. Can't ask anything more.
You're going to play one of these 2 players. You're starting to think about the idea of playing Yannick. Could be quite interesting.
It could be. You wouldn't be able to tell what was going to happen.
You've certainly got a bit more respect.
Definitely.
It's interesting stuff out there. Let's go back to our commentators for the next frame.
Frame 12. Lee Kendall will be quick to get back on level pegging. Red down. These competitors are starting to get the measure of the break off now.
And I believe he's going to carry on with red. Now the battle is really in stop.
Red ball's in play.
No miss is allowed, otherwise it's punishment immediately.
Well, it's another good break. It just seems different now. They come out the second half, and all of a sudden they are putting balls on the break. Yannick's had a great breaking out, plenty of power, good positional play all the way through. Carefully, he's taken the reds. Reds were the better suit. He's only got 1 bad red, and he's kind of just kissed it off the cushion a little bit there. Now here's a chance now to take it up the rail. And if he does make it, all the other reds are sitting nicely for him.
He seems to be annoyed, because he has to get a good position to clear the 3 reds just near the black after.
30 seconds.
Change his mind. And to change his mind during the game is not a good thing, as you see. He missed quite an easy shot for him.
Wasn't a full pocket there though, but what's worse is he's left Yannick a chance to dig out his most awkward yellow on the table, the one on the left-hand cushion. He can play that right up the corner pocket. It would take a brave man, but the table would be there for him if he attempted it and got it.
30 seconds.
He's got a little angle on this yellow. He can still try and attack that other bad yellow. Off the one bottom left and stun the cue ball over towards the red and yellow. At some stage, he's going to have to go after that.
I think Yannick is going to pocket these yellows and to take the red out. That is a brilliant shot.
Well, he's thinking like a winner right now, Eric.
And he still got the top left yellow ball to carry on his clearance.
Well, there's no obstacles right now. The hard work's been done. He's developed the only awkward yellow. Now it's down to Yannick. Just digging into the cue ball to kill the pace and keep the white top end of the table. A shot we call a drag shot.
Swing is straight in the next yellow, in the bottom right pocket. It is. And he's got everything to clear it.
Well, he fell on that one quite nicely, actually, and this shot, I think, is an important one now. He's going to pop this in the middle, but he needs to get it, just come over the table and just finish nice on the next yellow, and if he does, it makes the clearance a lot easier from there.
Now his ball is quite tight, because after that he has to get a position for his last yellows. And as you see, he's got a red in the middle of his two yellows.
This is the shot right here. If he gets this,
and he's got perfect angle to come back on the black to put it in the bottom right.
another look, Eric.
Brilliant shot. And here we go. That is a cracking clearance, I tell you.
Just 2 frames away from taking a Frenchman through to the semi-finals.
Lee's a very experienced player, and he's been in this kind of situation many times when he's had to pull something out the bag, and I've every confidence in him. He never knows when to call it a day after what he did to Quinton last year, but he's really up against it. Yannick's on fire, and he's potting balls on the break now. This is another tremendous break from Yannick. And I know Eric's getting very excited in the com box. Eric, what do you think of this now?
I'm so pleased to see Yannick playing this level, this standard of playing. And when you play a player like as Lee Kendall, that proves that you have to higher level to have a chance to win it. And now, it's not done, but he's got a real chance to go further.
Well, great players can raise their game. We already know Lee Kendall's a great player, and Yannick has taken his game to the next level.
He's annoyed by the red sticking on the yellow, and I think he wants to smash this too. And after he's got as well a luck to have a red in a pocket to carry on his clearance again. But now I really think he's going to take a chance as soon as he can. He can't afford to wait.
So very nearly disaster as it is. Perfection developed the awkward red. Another look at it, screwed right into that red, catching the middle bump. Eric, you're getting your palms a little sweaty, are you?
Oh yes, I tell you. But you know, I'm looking for the table, and for me, the awkward red now is the one in the bottom.
30 seconds.
He has to come back and have it. And that will be the key of this frame.
Yeah, all the reds are quite well set, and what it's all about now is about, you know, the order that you pick the reds off. And this red just below the black and the yellow at the bottom is probably the hardest one that he's going to have to get on. And when he gets on it, he needs to get on it in such a way that he can get on the black as well. So as he works his way back down the table, he needs to leave these two reds till last, so it's easier to move the cue ball around. And that's what he's doing here. He's just playing is just about right.
He's making no mistakes, Keith. He's potting very fluently. There's no reason to think he couldn't clear up here.
Seems to go for a little screw back to get an angle on the red he smashed before.
That might be okay. Looks to have just a shade of angle here.
But will it be enough?
Well, he's a little bit straight on it, and as you can see, he's got a tiny angle. Now, what he can do as he plays this, he can just stun the white over towards the black and the yellow. He can use them as a cushion to finish on the red, and if he does, it'll open the black up beautifully as well. And that's what he's going to try and do.
He did it.
Does that red pass to the center pocket?
He's quite lucky by the results, but he was going for a tremendous shot. And he's
Wide
got
open.
it.
He might have to just take the 8 to the same pocket. And a look of anticipation etched all over the French contingent.
Well, these two shots coming up now are going to be very important. Big, big
30
shots.
seconds.
Like you say, Jim, black in the same pocket if he can make the red. And the French are getting all excited, Eric. And I know Eric is next to me.
Oh yes, it's logic to be exciting. When you play such a player as Leon, you got the chance to be leading the game. That could be the 8.
The train motors on towards the finish line, carrying the French flag high over his head. He leads Lee Kendall 8 frames to 5 and wants one more for a place in the semi-final. A possibility of 4 frames left, and Lee Kendall wants them all.
I believe now in the crowd you will hear some French expression to, you know, to push the guy to carry on, to keep on being relaxed, and be sensible in his way of playing.
Or senseless. Sometimes that can be an attribute.
Well, the first order of the day for Lee really is to take each frame as it comes, and he's done this many times before. The comeback king, they call him, and he's done it so many times. Can he do it one more? And it's really going to be very hard for him because Yannick is really buzzing out of his head at the moment. But he's made a good break, and he needs to play well from here.
Well, quite simply, he can afford no more mistakes. And that's half a mistake, not as bad as it might first appear, because it does guard the pocket, and there is one of Yannick's reds there. But this is not the Lee Kendall that we've come to see, not in these World Championships on past history.
Even for a very, very good player, when you play somebody who missed nothing, it's really hard. And Lee Kendall knew he was favorite on
30 seconds.
this quarter.
Well, that awkward red still haunts Yannick Beaufils. The man's a magician.
I tell you, now he's in position to clear it again.
Eric, if he takes this red up the rail now, this is his one bad ball that he has left, then he's got a chance to win, Jim.
That's the one, Keith.
But I think he will clear the top table first, come back on the cushion, and push it after. He's got a choice anyway.
This also, Eric, a very sure sign that your man has got a clear head. That red's in.
I tell you, Jim, he's going for it anyway. He's going to play ball after ball, and he's going for it.
Cue right down the line. So if he's nervous, there's no evidence of it. But surely the adrenaline must be flowing in Yannick Beaufils.
He's absolutely perfect here, lads, because the one problem ball he had after taking the one up the rail was this one just above the black. But as you can see, it does go nicely into the middle pocket. Now, if he can just take this now, dead weight, the other two obviously clearly pot into the top left-hand pocket, and this is it. This could be match shot coming up.
Well, I'm sure for Yannick, and certainly for you, Eric, you'd like to have seen that cue ball a little further from that bottom cushion.
Do you remember what's happened to Lee in the same position?
Well, this is a real test of cueing. A grimace from one of the French side. Chance number one. Thrown away by Yannick Beaufils, but again, that white was desperately close to that bottom cushion. She's still got some fingernail left, but not much.
Well, I'll tell you now, everyone, if Lee Kendall comes back to win this match, he will remember that
30
red.
seconds.
Because that was one golden opportunity he just had. This isn't a hard finish on yellows for Lee, but it's a must finish. His back's against the wall. He can't afford any more mistakes. He's been given one lifeline, and there aren't too many at this level, and he's got to take it.
Well, when I noted that was chance number one, Keith, if you do somehow manufacture to snatch a loss from the jaws of a victory, how often do you think about the chances you had to go through to the next round? And you just know, you get the feeling that Yannick is still going to have another good opportunity. Whether he's going to be able to hold to the occasion is another story.
I think that Yannick policy actually is, as soon as he's got a chance, you don't have to miss it. He was close to other 9 frames, but it was tight ball in the middle pocket.
But the number 2 seed in this championship is far from out. 3 pots away from extending this to another frame.
Seconds.
Now Lee is supposing to find a really good position on the black. That is an excellent position on the black.
Nice smooth cueing from Lee Kendall there. So the Fox extends it at least one more frame. Lee Kendall pulls one back. He trails Yannick Beaufils 8-6. Frame 15, and Yannick Beaufils will in fact be breaking off here. And if ever he could ask for a break and finish, that time would be right now. Little And that's what so often happens.
Foul, one visit only.
It's only one visit. You heard the referee announce it, so not as bad as it could have been.
Well, whether he tensed his arm a little bit more there or not, we're not quite sure, but that's the worst break that he's done in the whole game. He's always been excellent with his breaking. He's always kept still, kept the cue ball straight all the way. At that time, he stunned it straight into the middle pocket. It's so close yet so far for this man. He's been a little fortunate, really, because
30 seconds.
out of all the breaks he had earlier in the match, they were coming out beautiful, and this time they've come out and there is one or two problems. No matter what suit Lee elects to take, he has got a bit of work to do.
Yellow ball's in play.
Couple of bad yellows, the one wedged up to the black and the one on the far right of our screen as we look.
I think definitely, looking at his reaction on the face, he was playing off the red there. See how the red is just guarding that side of the pocket. Now with the yellow next to the black, when he does actually develop that one, the most obvious pocket that he'll be potting it in is the bottom left. So what he tried to do there was just remove that red when he was potting the yellow, and that would have made the finish a lot easier, but he's failed to do that. All the yellows are still there, but as we've already pointed out, there's a couple of tricky ones, and he can't afford to make one more mistake.
$30 seconds.
As well, because he needs to have this yellow out to keep carry on his clearance.
When you've escaped as many traps as the Fox has, you're never out until the fat lady starts singing.
I don't know in which order I will go for the clearance, but my point of view, he'll have trouble with
seconds.
The one on the cushion or the one back in the middle. You have to choose.
That's a great shot. Come on, mate.
Well, he's picking them off well. As I said before, he needed to split the ball next to the black, and he now has removed his other one bad yellow. So now 3 more to go to claw another frame back. He's been a little unfortunate, I suppose, it has to be said, to finish with the cue ball on the cushion like this, and it means he's just got to play it plain ball and hope he finishes well. Whether he can steer the cue ball in between these to finish on the next yellow, I'm not quite sure. Not too bad, he's got it into the middle, but I'll tell you what, it's a hard finish, lads.
It is, and I've got like the same shot as Yannick in the game before. He got a yellow in the middle pocket, but he has to think about the position for the top yellow and come back for the black. He's not done.
$30 seconds.
A lot of English supporters there for Lee Kendall as well. This is a big shot. Crunch time for the pride of the Potteries right now.
Well, I don't think he's going to worry too much about precise precision here. I think he's going to make sure he pots the yellow. The black is available into both bottom corner pockets, so the worst thing that can happen is he'll cannon the black. But it's such a thin cut, I don't think there's much he can do with the cue ball.
A long way out. And half a chance for Yannick Beaufils.
I believe that Yannick will not go for the clearance now. I think he is going to go for a safety shot. because you've got 2 balls tied in the
top end of the table.
Yeah, and you've got 3 balls in the middle on the right as well.
30 seconds.
Well, there's been 1 or 2 times before when we didn't think he'd go for the finish, and he has. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised, Eric, if he goes for it now, because this man is not missing much tonight.
Yeah, I know, but when you play Lee Kendall, you 8-6 up, and that is 15 frames. I don't know if, I speak for me, I will take this risk. With 2 shots will be easy clearance than one with 1. But I think he listened to you, Kiss. He's going for it.
Well, that's how in Eric, I'm sure he's going for it. Because it's just the nature of the way he's played in this match. He's been very, very positive. And if he was to play some kind of a negative shot now and then lose the frame, he'd be thinking to himself, no, I shouldn't have changed my game. And I don't think he should. He's played excellent pool up to now. He's played very positive. He hasn't missed really anything. And I think he's going to go for game. Both of these reds that are clustered together will go into the middle pocket if he requires it.
I don't know the angle he's got on the red, and it seems not to be perfect to go back, to go up the table.
That is one brilliant shot he has just played, Eric.
That is not a brilliant shot, that is a cracking shot he made.
Well, when you two finish patting yourselves on the back, Yannick Beaufils is motoring towards the finish line.
I'd just like to point out here, boys, I did say he would go for this finish, and it was a very hard one and a very crucial one. And fair play to him, he's gone for it, and he's going to get it, I think. What do you think, Eric?
I thought you were teasing me.
Well, this might well be the shock result of this 1999 Embassy World Pool Championship.
30 seconds.
And it's 3 pots away from happening and being a reality. And some people can barely stand to watch.
Jim, if I can tell you something, if this black go in for Yannick, the history starts.
It's there! Beaufils has defeated the world #1 Lee Kendall, the tournament's #2 seed, ousted. And Yannick Beaufils has just booked a place in the semi-finals, and with it, a match against Australia's Quentin Hahn. What a match, what a performance from 20-year-old Yannick Beaufils.
We've got a young sensation out there on the table, and the other young sensation is going to be playing him next in Quentin Hahn. The game is looking very, very healthy at the moment, and, well, what did you think? We never gave him a chance, did we, at the start of this game?
I know, I didn't really think he had a chance at all, but the way he's played, I don't think he missed many balls in the whole match.
I think that's the point, the mistakes. We mentioned Lee's, we showed some of Lee's mistakes, but there was one miss which, okay, going for the middle pocket, I think, on one occasion, that was a very hard shot. But other than that, he really didn't give Lee a chance to play his own game, did he?
No, he didn't. Lee missed a few easy shots earlier on, and he jumped straight on top of it, punished him for it, and, you know, Lee couldn't relax after that. Lee was very uptight during the match, and, you know, Yannick played great.
You are about the same age. How do you see his game? Is it pretty impressive to you?
Well, I'm hoping he's used up most of his good shots, but I don't think he has. Before the match, I would have preferred to have played him, but the way he's playing, you know, he's playing great. So it's going to be tough.
And as we said at the top, that confidence will carry over.
Yeah, mostly. Well, yeah, sometimes this game's so unpredictable that you can play the best match of your life one day and you come in the next day you can play bad, but you know, I'm sure he's going to be really confident after, you know, beating Lee.
Well, they call him Beaufils, and his pool was definitely very Beau. He's with Estelle Matthews now. Let's go to him.
Well, Jonathan, I've got a crowd waiting to absolutely mob Yannick, so I better get this interview done very quickly. Yannick, mille félicitations, that's all as far as I go in French, but well done. That was an incredible victory for you.
Yeah, it's my first game in TV. Sorry for my English, and I play well. Good pressure.
You have demolished the world-ranked #1 player. How does that feel?
I know Lee. Often I play in the French team, so I know it's brilliant player.
And the most brilliant thing is this is as far as a Frenchman has ever been in the World Championship. How does that feel?
I know. I don't know why I play like that. It's
amazing.
I don't know.
Well, I think I better let you go. There's a crowd of Frenchmen waiting to attack you. Well done again.
Thanks a lot.
Back to you, Jonathan. And of course, I wonder what Quentin's feeling over there in the studio. This Frenchman is awesome.
Certainly is, Estelle. He says he's sorry for his English. Well, he's certainly not sorry about his pool. He's on excellent form. And it is interesting. The furthest a Frenchman's gone. What are your thoughts? You've got to play this guy now.
Well, he said he doesn't remember how, he doesn't know how he's played so well. Maybe he might
That's
forget
exactly
by
what
tomorrow.
you said.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to come out and just try and play the same as I did against Darren Appleton yesterday. I just played the balls, you know, I was always behind and I hung in there. I think it's going to be a tough game though if he plays the same.
And do you think you can go on to the final? Do you think you can beat this kid?
Oh, I think I can win the tournament, but, you know, 2 matches is a long way away from the trophy. So, you know, I can just do my best.
All right, that's fighting talk. The semi-finals are coming up, and they look like this. Carl Morris up against Terry Hunt. That's our first semi-final. And then Quintin Hahn is in action. What a sensation against Darren Appleton, but what a sensation Yannick Beaufils was in that match with Lee Kendall. It's going to be some pretty interesting stuff in the semi-finals of the World Championships. I wouldn't want to miss it. We'll be back with that first semi-final.